A. Smith Show starts right now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio and ESPN News, 250 plus markets across the United States of America, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought to you by mycomputercareer.edu. Training for a better life. Lots of stuff to get into, stuff percolating out of the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. They've got a new head coach. We'll be talking about that. Of course, there's been a couple of epic Game 7s. Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, and the Portland Trail Blazers knocking off the Denver Nuggets in Game 7 in the Mile High City yesterday afternoon. And then, of course, last night in the nation of Canada, led by Kawhi Leonard's 41 points and buzzer-winning, buzzer-beating, game-winning Game 7 two-point shot from the right baseline over Joel Embiid. The Toronto Raptors are going to the Eastern Conference Finals courtesy of a 92-90 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals last night in Toronto, Canada. We will definitely get into that in just a second. Obviously, Houston, Golden State, Game 6. Golden State, without Kevin Durant, takes out CP3, James Harden, and the Houston Rockets. We'll get into that in just a couple of minutes. First order of business is this game with the Raptors against the Philadelphia 76ers. We look at the Raptors and we look at Kawhi Leonard. 41 points, 16 of 39 shooting. Ladies and gentlemen, he only shot 41% from the field last night. Shot 2 of 9 from three-point range. That's 22%. That's far lower than what he's been shooting throughout this series. But he was a monster all series long, averaging over 33, averaging better than 50% shooting, averaging better than 45% shooting for three-point range. He was an absolute monster. Could Jimmy Butler defend him? No. Could Tobias Harris defend him? No. Could Ben Simmons defend him? No. Could Joel Embiid defend him in the end? No. And without any help, because Siakam didn't have but 11 points. Gasol didn't have but 7. Danny Green didn't have but 2. Kyle Lowry didn't have but 10. 17 pivotal points from Serge Ibaka, no doubt. But in the end, when it really, really counted, as you looked at the Toronto Raptors and everybody that came with it, they did not want the ball. They did not want the ball. There was only one person that wanted the ball, and that was Kawhi Leonard. And he got it, and the Philadelphia 76ers did little to nothing to be able to stop him. He was an absolute monster when it counted. He showed there's a difference between the creme de la creme and those who just want to be. There's a difference between superstars and everybody else. There's clearly a difference between superstars and stars. James Harden is a star. James Harden is a superstar during the regular season. During the postseason, we got to have a different discussion. But I'll get into that in just a second. I'm going to stay with Toronto and Philadelphia for this reason, and this reason primarily above all else. The Toronto Raptors, right now, when you look at Kawhi Leonard, my God, is there a difference between him and DeMar DeRozan? We can understand why Masai Ujiri, the general manager for the Toronto Raptors, elected to make that trade, knowing that Kawhi Leonard could potentially be and likely be a one-year rental. Stay in Toronto for 1 year, compete for a title, go for the title, etc., etc. And then after that, turn around. And you know something? Lose him. But guess what? It was a risk that you're willing to make. No question. No question about it. But I do think there's a legitimate question as to whether or not Kawhi should leave for LA. Clearly, when he wanted to leave San Antonio, that wasn't about basketball. That was a quality of life decision. He was bored living in San Antonio. Let's call it what it is, y'all. This show is carried in San Antonio. I love the San Antonians out there. I love the Riverwalk. Not much else. Nice areas in the suburbs, movie theaters, restaurants, all of that stuff is true. But if you're looking for a little bit of excitement in your life in your 20s, let's just say there are other places, dare I say, more stimulating than San Antonio. Now, Kawhi, we don't know that to be the case because he never says anything. But we have to understand that's what we heard when he was in San Antonio. So if that's what we heard when he was in San Antonio, I can assure you of this. Outside of the weather being cold, he ain't got that problem in Toronto. Oh, there's a whole lot to do in Toronto. I can promise you that. When we talk about the words gorgeous mosaic, take it from me. It truly, truly is. Let me move on and transition to the Philadelphia 76ers because that's really where the story is. Toronto's about to go against Milwaukee. The Greek Freak against Kawhi Leonard. Two of the top 4 players on the planet Earth going up against one another right now. That's a lot to discuss. And we will as the show progresses because off the top, I think that Milwaukee wins this series in 6 games. I don't think Kawhi Leonard has enough help. Which brings into question whether or not it was worth Ujiri losing DeMar DeRozan for a guy, albeit better, considerably so, in Kawhi Leonard. Was it worth it for 1 year? But that's neither here nor there. If you're the Philadelphia 76ers, you got an entirely different dilemma on your hands. First things first, do you keep Coach Brett Brown? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to sit here and advocate to meet you that the man should be fired when he just took them to within one basket of a berth to the Eastern Conference Finals. What I will say to you is this, though. People are going to look at Joel Embiid constantly on the perimeter, not on the block. They're going to question Brett Brown. They're going to look at Ben Simmons and no jump shot and the fact that there's been no visible development whatsoever in that category. They're going to look at Brett Brown. You're going to look at the combination of Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler and say, we can't keep both. We can only keep one. Which one do you keep? Is it Jimmy Butler? Sure. But if he's asking for max dollars, do you keep him then and lose Tobias Harris? Oh, by the way, does Tobias Harris want to stay there and play alongside Jimmy Butler? These are all issues the Philadelphia 76ers have to address, not to even mention their bench. Not to even mention their bench. But I will tell you this. And I will tell you this right here, right now. When I look at the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm proud of these brothers. And I got to tell you something else, too. I saw Joel Embiid crying like a baby last night. And there were people that were of this mindset. Because remember, the Sixers turned over the ball, had clock violations, basically 3 of the last 4 possessions. It was a clumsily run final couple of minutes for the Philadelphia 76ers. But you can credit Toronto's defense in large part for that. And also Brett Brown's insatiable appetite for having Joel Embiid on the perimeter. Not the wisest way to go. Not the wisest route to take. But when I saw Joel Embiid crying, whereas most people would malign him for it, I'm not. I love seeing him. I don't know if it was necessary for Joel Embiid to be crying in a hallway while hugging and kissing his girlfriend. I'm not talking about that part. But damn near crying on the court, practically inconsolable when Marc Gasol tried to, pay homage to him. When all of that was going on, I'm here to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm here to tell you something straight up and down. When you look at a guy like Joel Embiid being that affected, I'm telling you right now, if you're a Philadelphia 76ers fan, although it absolutely positively is hurting your soul as we speak, I want to let you know something right here, right now. Joel Embiid and those tears you saw him streaming down his face and that pain you saw sifting through his body like that, it may end up being the best thing that ever happened to you. You see, to me, Joel Embiid, and it's not to disrespect him in any way, but to me, Joel Embiid became a man last night. Because let me tell you something right now. Ain't no more airplane flyings, joking around, chirping. When you lose a game 7 and you lose it in that magnitude with Kawhi Leonard drilling a jumper over you that bounced in and out of the rim and then into the rim, about 3 or 4 bounces. Let's count them right here. He goes up, clock 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bounces. And then goes into the rim to win the series. To win the series. Let me tell y'all something right now. That's some pain that is not going to leave Joel Embiid for a very, 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 very long time. And when he comes back on the court next year and he's playing, he's going to remember every aching moment. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, could you imagine a monster, a beast like Joel Embiid? And I say that obviously complimentary. Could you imagine him even more focused? How he'll be if he's healthy? If I'm the 76ers, I leave this man alone. I make sure, work on his knees, work on his back, get him as close to 100% as you can possibly get him in the best condition of his life, and then unleash him. Because nobody can stop Joel Embiid. Nobody can stop him. And what you're going to see with Joel Embiid is a man on a mission coming back. I think it's going to be to the benefit of the Philadelphia 76ers. Make no mistake about it. And I think it is something that would bode very, very well for them moving forward. 888-SAY-ESPN is the number to call. It's 888-729-3776. That's one portion of the Stephen A. Smith Show that I wanted to touch on. Here's the other. The Houston Rockets. John, do we have that sound from Tillman Fertitta, the owner for the Houston Rockets? Cat Pastor, do we have that? Talking to my producers here, because let me tell y'all something right now. The Houston Rockets had a 10-point lead, or rather got outscored by 10 points in the fourth quarter. Mr. Fertitta, the owner for the Houston Rockets, was not playing any games. And I'm here to tell you something. He's justified, because let me tell you, when I look at the Houston Rockets, ladies and gentlemen, it's not just that you lost. It's that you lost game 6 on your home court. You cannot have Kevin Durant healthy on the court averaging 33 against you. Clearly one of the prolific offensive juggernauts we've ever seen in this game. Kevin Durant has the Golden State Warriors up 2-0 in this series. Houston, with him on the floor, comes back and ties the series. With Kevin Durant on the floor, the Golden State Warriors go up 20 in game 5. With them still on the floor, Houston comes back, takes the lead. And then the man goes down with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the third quarter with the calf injury that looked like an Achilles injury. And somehow over the course of the last 14 minutes, without Kevin Durant, you're the Houston Rockets and you have no answer. You don't put your foot on their throat and grind them into the ground and take them out. How do you not do that if you're the Houston Rockets? If you're the team who everybody's been chirping about would have won a championship if CP3 didn't get hurt near the end of game 5 in last year's Western Conference Finals, how is it that now that CP3 is healthy and James Harden is healthy and you got an extra year on your belt having played together and Eric Gordon is balling and PJ Tucker's giving his contribution? Mike D'Antoni is still your coach, so it's not a new system. How in God's name do you turn around and can't do anything in game 5? But that's what happened. And then game 6. James Harden drops 35. CP3 has his best game of the series, dropping 27. And somehow, some way, the Kevin Looneys and the Andre Iguodalas and the Quinn Cooks and the Jerebkos of the world and the McKinneys of the world come off the bench to help Golden State overcome a scoreless first half by Steph Curry. They keep you in the game until Steph Curry explodes for 33 points in the second half. I could go off about that, but why bother when you have the owner for the Houston Rockets, Mr. Tillman Fertitta, in only his second year or so owning the team, to do it for me. Listen to this man speak.
Very upset right now. They kicked our ass on our home court. They beat us by 10 points in the fourth quarter. It's unacceptable, okay? We just have to be better, and I know that we're going to rise to the occasion, and our time's going to come. You know, James is 30 years old. Michael didn't win his first championship till 30. Hakeem didn't win his first championship till 30. I can promise you we're going to win some championships with James Harden, okay? Because we are not going to sit here. We will go to battle every year. We're going to have a strong off season, and we're going to do whatever we can do to be a better team, okay? We are not going to sit on our hands. I can promise you that.
Couple of points to pull from that, ladies and gentlemen. Couple of points to pull from that. Point number one. Tillman Fertitta was wrong about this much. Michael Jordan won his first title at the age of 27. He was 27 years old when he won his first title. Okay? Michael Jordan. That year, 1990-91, he was 27 years of age, played all 82 games, averaged 31.5 points on 53% shooting from the field. He was Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Okay? His birthday is February 17th, 1963. So when you look at him in the 1990-91 season, when they won their championship, he was 27 years of age. That's number one. Number two, listen to Fertitta. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I got to confess, I love this man. I love this man. I love this man's attitude. He's ticked off. He's not happy. They underachieved. He expected more. They didn't deliver. And he's going to hold people accountable. Now, I don't know what he can do. When you're just in the first year of giving Chris Paul a 4-year, $160 million deal that they had to give him. When James Harden is going to get his money, what the hell can you do other than let go of the coach? And listen, I don't know whether he's going to do this or not. I really don't. And I'm not sitting here acting like Mike D'Antoni, oh, get rid of him, fire him. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that Daryl Morey didn't do a good job, because we know he's one of the exceptional GMs in this business. What I'm saying is, if you listen to the owner, says we're not going to sit on our hands, we're not going to stand still. This is unacceptable. Why? Because you lost on your home court in Game 6. See, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a different philosophy, and this is why Stephen A. Smith, I guess why I'm not a president of basketball operations. Listen, because I know I would do a good job, but here's the reason why I'm probably not. See, I'd have a goon on my squad. Let me be very, very clear. Against league rules, I'll openly admit it, I'd have at least one goon on my squad. You know who that goon would be? It would be somebody that would be ready to punch his teammates in the face during practice if he had to. That's what it would be. That's what it would be. I'm telling you that right now. I think every team needs it. And Houston was the voter. And John, I'll tell you what, tell my producer something right now. Tell my godson, Jonathan, here, right in front of me. Let me tell y'all a little story about me. I played Division II ball. I played at Winston-Salem State for the Great Big House games, whatever the case may be. Cracked my kneecap in half so I could never really shine or whatever. But earlier in a part of my career, before I cracked my kneecap, tell you a little story, John. I had a teammate. His nickname was Shaq. Tall, relatively skinny dude. Wore goggles, high top. Yeah, what's going on? That's how I used to talk, you know? And I got into a game. And an opponent for the opposite team drilled three shots in front of my face. Just drilled 3 jumpers in my face. He said, yo, and they called me Saul. That was my nickname in college, Saul. And he said, yo, Saul, come here for a second. Yo, come here. I'ma bust your living, you know what. Ladies and gentlemen, I played 20 minutes the rest of that game. That man didn't score 1 basket. I was scared to death that Lance Jones, Shaq, was going to whip my you-know-what. I was scared to death. Because he didn't play, wasn't playing. Trust me when I'm telling you, he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing. He meant it. my living you know what. Because damn it, yo, it's not happening. Stop him. Figure it out. You need a goon on every squad. And a lot of times we look at do some rough rider like a PJ Tucker, and we look at a guy who's hard-nosed, hardcore, and it's his job to defend whatever. No, I'm not talking about that kind of dude where he goes on the court and he's a rough rider. I'm talking about the kind of rough rider that makes you scared to be in the locker room or in practice with them because you're afraid of what they're going to do to you if you don't do your job. I think every team needs that. Remember Ken Bannister with the New York Knicks from back in the day? Remember Anthony Mason when Pat Riley found him off the scrap heap, God rest his soul? Remember guys like Xavier McDaniel, Maurice Lucas, the Bill Lamberts, the Rick Mahorns of the crew? Those dudes. Xavier McDaniel, those dudes. Charles Oakley's, those dudes. To me, every team needs one of those guys. Every team needs one of those guys. To a lesser degree, certainly not the enforcer that any of those guys are that I just mentioned. To a lesser degree, that's Draymond Green for the Golden State Warriors. Do you really want to not do your job and have Draymond Green as a teammate? Because let me tell you something about Draymond Green. He's a basketball savant. He knows the game. He's smart. You can't sit up there and look at Draymond Green and judge him by scoring. That's not what he does. If that's the case, Rodman would be a scrub bagging groceries instead of a Hall of Famer. It's how you play the game. It's the cerebral approach that you have towards the game because of your understanding about what everybody is supposed to be doing, along with yourself. And it's the athleticism and the fire in your belly and the competitive fervor in your belly that enables you to hold other people accountable. Why is Michael Jordan great? The GOAT. Why is Kobe Bryant worthy of being in the conversation? Because, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't just about them and their ability to put the ball in the hole. It was about the fire in their belly that made them hold you accountable. That made them say, I don't give a damn about your friendship. I don't give a damn if you like me. I don't give a damn if we don't get along. You better do your damn job or else. That was them. As great as they were, Kobe and MJ had a little bit of goon in them. They had a little bit of goon in them. Where's that in Houston? It's non-existent. It's a big reason why they lost. It's a big thing that Fertitta was alluding to. And it's why I believe it's possible. I don't know, but it's possible. Fertitta might make a coaching change. I put nothing past this man. He ain't playing. D'Antoni is not safe right now. This was an incredible loss of a series for him. It was an indictment against whether or not you can win playing his brand of basketball. And you can act like it's an indictment against James Harden too, because he's no Steph Curry, as we've learned, and we got that. But the brother did average nearly 35, shoot nearly 45% from the field, and over 30% from three-point range. It's not like he didn't ball. It's not like he sold out. It's not like he did a disappearing act like a couple of years ago against the Spurs. He just wasn't Steph Curry. But what position was James Harden put in to succeed? We don't want to talk about that, do we? Well, guess what? We will. Right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News, 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. That was Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less, only at Walmart. Stick around, don't touch that dial. Your phone calls and more up next as I continue talking about these NBA playoffs and the draft lottery coming up tomorrow night. You're listening live to Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, people, I'm here to tell you about Zelle, a quick and easy way to send and receive money right from your banking app. Not sure what to get someone for their birthday, graduation, or housewarming? Send them money with Zelle, a truly one-size-fits-all present so they can buy whatever they want. The money goes directly into their bank account, typically within minutes if they are already enrolled with Zelle, so they don't have to wait long to spend it on the perfect gift for themselves. Look for Zelle in your banking app or get more info at ZellePay.com. Terms and conditions apply.